In the heart of a shining modern city, where tall buildings touch the clouds and expensive cars rule the streets, lived two beautiful women whose friendship was admired by everyone. Their names were Linda and Becky. Linda was the kind of woman people turned to look at twice. She was tall, elegant, curvy, and always dressed like she had just stepped out of a fashion magazine. Her long legs moved with confidence, her expensive heels clicked like music on the pavement, and her hairstyles were always flawless, sometimes long silky curls, sometimes royal braids, sometimes a short classy bob that made her look like a celebrity. She had beauty, she had style, she had attention, or so she thought. Her best friend, Becky, was also tall and elegant, but in a quieter way. She was not curvy like Linda, and she dressed simply, clean, neat, and graceful. She carried herself with calm confidence and had a mysterious smile that made people wonder what she was thinking. But there was one thing nobody knew about Becky. She had secrets, very dark secrets. Men in the city chased Becky like bees after honey. Rich businessmen, politicians, young successful bachelors, even married men who should have known better, could not resist her. They bought her gifts, sent her money, begged for her attention, and fought over her love. Linda watched all this with growing confusion. How is this possible? She would ask herself while standing before her mirror. I have everything men dream of. Beauty, shape, class, fashion, yet Becky keeps winning. At first, she laughed it off. Then she became curious. Then, jealous. One evening, the two friends sat at a luxurious rooftop restaurant overlooking the glittering city lights. Linda sipped her wine slowly and stared at Becky. Becky, she said softly. Becky smiled. Tell me the truth, what exactly do you use on men? Becky laughed. Use? What do you mean? Don't play with me, Linda said sharply. Men worship you. Even the ones who approach me end up running after you. I need to know your secret. Becky leaned back and smiled strangely. Some secrets are better left untouched. Linda frowned. That means there is a secret. Becky's eyes darkened. Linda, not everything shining is gold. But Linda was no longer listening. Jealousy had already entered her heart like poison. Days passed. Linda became obsessed. She watched Becky closely. She noticed strange things. Becky sometimes disappeared at night. She received calls she never answered in public. She wore a tiny strange bracelet made of red thread and odd-looking beads. And sometimes, men who left her suddenly looked weak, tired, and completely lost. Linda's suspicion grew stronger. One rainy night, Linda decided to follow her. She wore black, entered her car, and secretly trailed Becky through the wet city roads. Becky drove far from the beautiful city center, into an old forgotten part of town where broken houses stood like ghosts. Finally, Becky stopped in front of a small ancient-looking building surrounded by giant trees. Linda's heart pounded. Becky stepped inside. Linda followed quietly. Inside, candles burned. The air smelled of herbs and smoke. An old woman sat in the middle of the room wearing white wrappers and heavy beads around her neck. Linda froze. Becky knelt before her. I need stronger power, Becky said. Linda is asking questions. The old woman smiled without looking up. She is already here. Linda gasped. Both women turned. Silence. Fear. Shock. Becky stood slowly. So, you followed me. Linda trembled. You use charms. Becky's face was cold now. Yes. Linda stepped backward. All these men, all this attention, it was never real. Becky laughed bitterly. Real? Linda, do you know what this city respects? Not kindness. Not purity. Power. She walked closer. You were born with beauty. Men noticed you naturally. I was not. I had to create my own power. Linda whispered, this is evil. Becky's eyes flashed. No, this is survival.